Well, hello. Welcome to one of Plug and Play's biggest events of the year, our Summer Summit. My name is Jennifer Elfman and I'm the director of our Smart Cities team. With our Summer Summit, we conclude the first half year of amazing innovation activities in our ecosystem of corporations, startups, and VCs. And I hope you're as excited as I am for this week's startup pitches, keynotes, and panels. Our week will be packed with the most amazing topics from our smart cities and smart health and money tracks. We start the week today with our IoT and real estate program. On Tuesday, June 16, we hear from mobility and energy. Wednesday is focused on Fintech and enterprise, and we close the week on June 18th with our Insurtech and health program. So we hope you're able to clear your schedules, find a comfortable seat in front of your screens, and are ready for Summer Summit. Everyone who's with Plug and Play since a while now knows that we throw fabulous events at our headquarters in Sunnyvale. Given the worldwide situation, we turned all our services to virtual. No one had expected the changes in 2020 when the year started. We are fully virtual since March now, and we all have to admit we do miss our network of partners a lot. But we work hard, and I'm confident that we will be able to connect with you during this virtual summit as personal as possible. Well, today marks day one of the summit. We start with Internet of Things in the morning from 8 to 10:30 a.m. I expect we deliver a worthy opening for this week with my favorite topic, IoT. After that, we will run real estate and construction at 10:45. The highlight of this morning will clearly be three things. After my opening remarks and a welcome note from our founder and CEO, Saeed Amidi, we will hear an amazing keynote from Shane Tegerati at Honeywell, who will speak about the crisis and the new world order. Then we will hear our startups pitch. We clustered their presentations by the focus areas of hardware, industrial IoT, air quality, and edge data. The third highlight of this morning will be a success story presentation and a fireside chat with our partner Daikin and our startup Daikin. We wrap up the IoT session and have a short break before my dear colleagues will take over for the real estate focus for their own detailed agenda later today. So stay tuned for the upcoming sessions. A quick glance at housekeeping. The audience will be muted throughout the session. If you have any questions or if you encounter any technical issues, our team is always available for you in the chat box at the bottom of the Zoom window. Networking will happen in our event app Brella as usual. If you haven't used Brella before, this is a simple process. If you're fast enough, read out the QR code on the bottom right of the slide. Otherwise, you can download the app or open the website next.brella.io and enter the event code FVTZFV. Please don't forget to set up your profile once you enter the event. Select your interest areas, sync your calendars for availability, and start reaching out to our startups and partners for networking. I'd like to invite you to a quick recap of the relevant IoT topics of the first half of 2020. So let's take a look. Well, COVID-19 has shaken up our lives quite a bit. While I hope that you and your loved ones are healthy and safe, we're all facing some kind of societal and economic impact from the worldwide outbreak. Especially cities and public spaces had to quickly adapt to the new situation. We discussed that, for example, in a fireside chat in April with the mayor of Seoul in Korea, where he spoke about his tech solutions to combat the crisis. And we released a handbook for cities fighting COVID-19. You can find both the recording and the ebook for download on our website. Very quickly, focus was shifting to new topics, and I'd like to share 4 major examples with you. Drive-through testing or patient tracing in communities became important. Social distancing, monitoring, autonomous delivery of groceries, or ad hoc citizen communication had to be put in place. So municipalities turned to technology. Tracing apps based on Bluetooth and GPS were developed and rolled out. Some started social distancing monitoring with LiDAR sensors. Also, some of our startups pivoted their products, like a robotics startup that now helps automatic disinfection of public spaces with UVC robots. And entities started using their surveillance cameras to detect symptoms and other biometrics in individuals to predict and manage outbreaks. All that would not have been possible without IoT. It is very likely that these topics will not go away anymore and will be built into a new normal. We at Plug and Play are at the forefront of finding and understanding new technology-driven solutions with our social impact and COVID-19 program to help societies and companies making the necessary change as sustainable, as viable, and as impactful as possible. The sudden shift in focus topics has caused discussions around innovation strategies in general. Many of our partners started rethinking their innovation activities and focus areas. We're all facing the same question of what will be of value in times and after COVID-19. While other companies have shut down their innovation activities as a consequence, others drive full steam ahead. Waymo will continue to charge forward with autonomous shuttles and trucks. Amazon and FedEx will even accelerate the deployment of delivery robots. The process of innovation should be sustainable, robust, not accidental, especially during a recession. So rather than slashing innovation budgets, CEOs should encourage their teams to continue delivering market-leading products. In moments of economic slowdown, innovation strategies and projects precisely need to be continued for various reasons. They may help find us solutions for the decline in orders. They may help reducing internal costs, and they show that innovation is not a daily hat you put on and off, but belongs to its corporate culture. Take the examples of energy companies that are facing the all-time low oil prices. Knowing that fossil fuel is definite, they can either stop innovating now or double down on finding alternative solutions to go out of the crisis strong and ready for a recovering economy. So whatever you can continue to do, don't put it on pause. Stay very well connected with your business units. But what you certainly should do is prioritize those projects for which a higher cost efficiency is expected, and put those on hold that anyway have limited prospects. Innovation teams now can show that innovation is an adaptable group that can help getting through the crisis and create a significant impact on the top line and especially on the bottom line. The current economic downturn is an opportunity to trigger those projects that have a cost impact. In order to weather the storm of budget pressure, innovators can prove their value to the business in more immediate ways. We host a webinar series about cost savings for which you can access recordings and an ebook on our website, where we presented ready-to-apply technologies from startups that will help you save costs. If you want to increase your workers' productivity, safety, and quality assurance, AR, VR, and other computer vision technologies are ready to go. Output increase and process cost reduction can easily be achieved with automation and predictive maintenance. Lastly, a better utilization of your data through, for example, AI, will make your legacy systems much more efficient. As always, let us know if we can introduce you to the startups that have the right solution for you. The same offer stands when it comes to planning your return to work and managing manufacturing facilities under these new circumstances. Check out our ebook, Reopening Manufacturing Facilities, which can be found on our website, as well as that'll give you great insights into tech solutions to adjust into the new normal. From making remote work more efficient, to monitoring the well-being of your teams, to ensuring physical collaboration in a safer way, we got you covered. Before moving into the next agenda item, we have an important announcement to make. As you know, we're handing out our corporate award during every summit. With that, we want to highlight a partner in our ecosystem who has impressed us with their approach to innovation. This summer's IoT award goes to a partner that has demonstrated great ability to pivot and quickly move to find and implement solutions for their customers during this time. Dear Rose, Frank, Sean, and Ben from Wesco, we want to express our appreciation with this year's IoT award. A warm virtual round of applause for the Wesco team. Wesco leveraged the Plug and Play platform to find new solutions that can be implemented more immediately than some longer-term strategies. We're looking forward to the continuation of this fruitful relationship, and I'd like to invite you to our next success story presentation. Today's MC and host for the upcoming sessions and startup pitches will be my esteemed colleague Edison. Edison is a team member of our ventures team and an expert in IoT. Please give her a warm round of virtual applause when she takes over later. Good luck, Edison. Again, thank you very much for joining us for our summer summit. My name is Jennifer, and if you'd like to know more about smart cities or IoT, about our End COVID-19 program, innovation best practices, or other new services at Plug and Play, please get in touch with me. Now, over to our founder and CEO, Saeed Amidi, who has navigated us through the last month of change with strong leadership and a constantly optimistic outlook on the future. Thank you, and see you later.
It's a great pleasure to invite you to our summer summit, the IoT Day. You know, I could never imagine 3-4 months ago that we would live our life in a digital world. I have been home for more than 3 months, and more than ever, I appreciate innovation, technology, and the digital world, which has made Plug and Play able to continue our work. I have seen IoT change lives, you know, making cities smarter, making buildings and home smarter. IoT in health will help us save lives through sensors that would monitor our health and predict and prevent health issues before they arise. I am very proud that all of these devices and data need connectivity. And as recently as June 1st, we are very proud to announce one of the largest telco in the world, BT, has joined the platform. We are looking forward to more telcos from around the world, like China Telecom, who I had an event with together in Beijing last year, to join the platform and make these IoT devices smarter and more connected. More than ever, I wanted to welcome Shane Tejarati, who is a really close friend of mine. And for the last 30 years, he has been the driving force with Honeywell in the growth market, specifically China, India, and Asia. Shane is a citizen of the world. And if you spend some time with him on a personal basis or professional basis, you see that his mind and his work is to make a better world, united, and a better future for our children and our family. It is with the great honor and pleasure that I welcome Shane to give our keynote today and open our summer summit. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Saeed, for this very kind introduction. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to be together with you and your community. I have to say that that Plug and Play has really been in the forefront of community building and raising the call of innovation in this very, very special time when it is needed more than ever before. I think in terms of just background, as Saeed said, I have been living and working in China since almost 28 years. I went to China when it was not fashionable to go to China. And the primary reason for it was that I always knew that in order to live life at the edge, in order to experience human transformation, which was something that I grew up in that philosophy of regarding the whole world as one, all of humanity as one, but also being in the forefront of trying to make an impact on making human life better, you had to be proximate. You had to be proximate to where the greatest change is happening. I have to give a preamble that in many ways, I consider myself a Forrest Gump of business people. I have been put into situations that often I didn't even recognize myself. I've been very lucky. But whenever those situations lent themselves, like Forrest, I just ran. And sometimes I didn't quite know where I'm running, like when I went to China. But after a while, I saw that it was a good thing, and a whole bunch of other people were in that path running together with me. I had no plans to go to China 30 years ago. In fact, my plans was to go to some emerging markets like Latin America, where people looked a little bit like me, and it was easier to speak and learn the language like Spanish. But my mentors asked me a very deep question. What is the reason you want to go to Latin America? I said, I wanted to experience human life at the edge and be of great impact. He said, well, that's China. If you really want to be remote, they've just gone through Tiananmen Square. They are, the Berlin Wall has fallen. The world around them are falling. If you want to see human transformation at the large scale, that's what it is. And I think for me, the privilege has been that in the past 30 years, I have witnessed what humanity really witnessed in 300 years. That is, raising of about 800 million people out of poverty is equivalent to what the entire Western world did during the Industrial Revolution till 1980. So seeing that transformation has been really amazing. I've always been in the world of tech. I started my career with a Silicon Valley company, Oracle, more than 35 years ago. And I always believed that tech and innovation were a great platform for transformation of society. So when I arrived in China, that was all very different. I think it was more about listening, about learning, and about understanding where the country is going. I was very lucky that that I had the opportunity to do that. Over the past 16 years at Honeywell, what we realized was that as the world is changing its color, its tapestry, its richness from just being a Western-dominated world, which was, if you like, globalization 1.0 since the discovery of America and the Industrial Revolution. And we were talking about BRICS economies and so on and so forth, but reality was that that something bigger was afoot. China, in the forefront of all the emerging markets, it was beginning to make a transformation unlike any other. And 30 years down the road, we can talk about it in terms of retrospective, that for the first time in 300 years, we have another pole, another axis of major human development vis-a-vis the Western pole that rose basically Western Europe and North America and parts of Asia, like chiefly Japan and Korea. With that, there is, I think, hope for the rest of humanity, rest of Asia, Africa, India, parts of Latin America, to really rise so that we could have much greater participation in if you like, in human prosperity throughout the world. It's the first time that that model has been challenged. And of course, we're now right in the heart of this challenge and tension between China and the rest of the world. I would like to see it as an opportunity for the world to welcome the rest of humanity to be part of this innovation and participation in the fortunes of humanity. China lifted not only 800 million people out of poverty, but also on almost every scale, it was one of the greatest contributors to human prosperity in the past 30 years. It has a lot of issues, of course, much like we've had in our 300-year history. But if you pack 300 years into 30, a lot of the issues become even more visible and vivid, like IP issues, like human rights issues, like environmental challenges, and so on and so forth. I think it's our chance and our time to look at opportunities to work together as opposed to look at ourselves as rivals and as a distancing or if you like, separating economies in the world. I'm responsible for all of Honeywell's business in what we call high growth regions, which is all of Asia, Latin America, Africa, Middle East, and Eastern Europe. It's about 30% of the economies, 35% of the economies of the world, and it's about, I would say, 25 to 30% of our revenues, but it contributes more than 60, 70% of the growth. And that's reality. That's reality for our shareholders, for our stakeholders, for everyone out here that benefits from our technologies. We decided 16 years ago that instead of just using China as a low-cost manufacturing or low-cost play for the world, but we'll use it as a place, as a market to truly engage and to bring end-to-end innovation, which we call East for East. And that East for East meant that in every country, and we started with China, we said if we don't get China right, it doesn't matter if we get the rest of the world right. We started with China and we brought end-to-end market innovation to China, saying that we need to understand the specific needs of this market and innovate for that market. Much harder to do in a large company than it seems and it feels. Fast forward 15 years, we've 10x'd our business in China. China became our second largest country in terms of sales by 2013, and it's the largest contributor to our growth. But it's also a place where we have some of the largest IPs generated, some of the largest new innovations. If China is the environmental hotbed of the world, it is also the environmental innovation center of the world. I want to fast forward a little bit in going to what we did with that. When we built the platform in China, we took the China model and implemented it in India first by saying, well, that's the Chinese model, was local for local. How does that transpose and transform into India? And the Indian version of it. Once we noodled with that and we kind of perfected that, then we went worldwide, starting with Vietnam, Southeast Asia, Middle East, Africa. Today, over 60, 70% of our growth over the past 10 years have been contributed by high growth regions. I think that trend, even despite COVID, is going to continue because the macro trends, the mega trends are there. High population, low arable land, low natural resources, the need for environment, for energy efficiency, for safety, for security. And of course, COVID throws in a very different monkey wrench in there too, the need for global cooperation, the need for global innovation, for global solutions. That's been my passion. I've been involved with COVID from day one. I was in Wuhan, probably the last multinational executive to be in Wuhan on January 20th. My hosts were absent from the meeting, and later some of the leaders of the country, of the place themselves were affected, and some of them even lost their lives. Wuhan was shut down 3 days after, and we had to really be all hands on deck. Like Saeed said, this has probably been the longest I have not traveled for more than 20 years. But I've been living COVID for the past 6 months. I want to share a couple of things on that and then give the podium back to Saeed for Q&A. Even though we've been hit and we're one of the largest PPE companies in the world, one of the first things we had to do was step up and ensure our employees are safe just before Chinese New Year. Our products roll out the door, our masks, our protective products and all of that, and that we actually attend passionately, compassionately, with empathy to our employees, to our customers. And we did that literally 24 hours a day, round the clock, and that has not stopped. Once we were able to stabilize China, the rest of the world came into the grips of COVID-19. And in some non-sinister and genuine fashion, I would say, even though we're experiencing one of the most difficult times in human history, this whole thing has energized me as a leader, because it calls on leaders to step up. It calls on leaders to exercise every muscle that they thought they had atrophied. We have to step up, not panic, energize our team, and lead from the front, have empathy, and bring innovation, new innovations to the market. We've been working with customers in China, in India, in Middle East recently, in America, in Latin America, in coming up with new innovations. And IoT is a very big part of that. I want to end with that, Saeed. IoT is a huge part of it, because one of the biggest things our customers are asking us is, how do I remotely monitor my buildings, my plants, my airplanes, my warehouses? How do I not just monitor, but also run them more effectively, more efficiently? How do I make sure my buildings are safe? As you saw, we have a new partnership with SAP for healthy buildings. How do we make sure we can using ultraviolet lights to disinfect airplanes? What we just announced that recently. How do we make sure that we can actually control with positive pressure viruses in buildings and zap them with ultraviolet and other filters, and make buildings and environments and warehouses safer and more secure for the world? I have never been this energized to do something with technology that would make a great impact on people's lives. I want to stop there and give some time for Saeed and for a conversation around this. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hi, Shane. Thank you so much for your kind words. I think we all enjoyed your keynote very, very much. Shane, can you tell us, I have just one question for you. Sure. What are you excited about once we have ended the COVID situation? So is there something that you would say, this is what I'm really looking forward to, professionally, maybe even also personally?
Yeah, well, I think one is that I think more than ever, the kinds of conversations that I've had with leaders, I am very fortunate to have been to be the founder of Aspen Institute in China, Aspen Institute in the Middle East. So I get, in addition to our tremendous customer base and our leaders at Honeywell and people like yourselves, have an incredible privilege of being in touch with the top 200 CEOs of China and the Middle East and Asia, and young leaders. And to hear what they're talking about and what motivates them. I think much of our conversations has been about the need for a new world order, the need for thinking differently, whether it's in the area of innovation, in the area of collaboration, in the area of governance. So I think of New World Order in three ways. One is government to government at the institutional level. I think we see with COVID-19 that we have by and large failed that. The world has by and large failed. When push came to shove, we became more nationalistic. And COVID had shown that nationalism and borders, those fictitious borders, are not conducive for us to be able to build a better society. I hope, one of my greatest hope, both on a personal level, that I want to commit myself to be involved in that. I'm not on a political level, but be involved in conversations around breaking down those fictitious barriers between nations, especially large nations like China and US and Europe, that are so fundamental in us solving big problems. Two is collaboration at the company levels, whether it's state-owned companies, whether it's private companies, public companies. No one company can solve all the problems by themselves. And we need to be able to collaborate across geographies, across technologies. That is why very quickly, for example, we've been collaborating in the Middle East, for example, in creating protective equipment with Mubadala, as you saw, to address local needs in the Middle East for personal protection. We've been collaborating with SAP for a global healthy buildings collaboration. And things that you think you could do in a year, you should be thinking of doing it in a month. That's what we're doing. Our clock speed has at least 10x'd. And then on personal, I think personal collaboration, for us to go beyond our comfort zones, beyond the veneer of the news that we hear, beyond the veneer of the separation, segregation, and the dislocation that we hear, to reach out to not stand for any of the nonsense of whether it's racial or any other segregation, whether it's racial profiling, the African Americans that's happening here, but also Asians or others, reaching out and collaborating. So to me, the theme that COVID had accelerated is one of breaking down borders, collaborating, and the need for reaching out and building a new world order, way beyond the political melodrama that makes that we used to think about. In terms of,
and Shane, I couldn't agree more. I feel like COVID has made our world a little smaller for the moment, and has taught us how important open borders are. And I'm missing traveling, I'm missing collaborating with people, I miss a lot of things. And it's if that's one positive thing in that time right now, we start to appreciate that more, and we start to fight for that more. And I couldn't agree more with you. Yeah.
Exactly. And you know, technology is a great common language for us to do that. It allows us to say, okay, if we are solving, especially in places with high population, where how do you think we're going to have 6 feet apart in a place where has 5 to 10 times the density of New York? How are we going to tell people just stay home? So how do we make sure that using technology, we can actually solve some of these issues? I think warehouses are going to look very different. I think the pace of automation in just supply chain is at least going to be 10x. Yeah. So get ready, Plug and Play, and all the whole community. You guys have to help together with China, with India, with the rest of the world to think about innovation in how do we get the best products and services to the people. Another thing that this has done is our definition of what's most essential. The delivery man is very essential. As you can see.
We see that now. We see that now clearly.
Other services are very essential, as you can see from my homemade haircut. But we have to be thinking about how do we collaborate, and technology allows us to take those fictitious borders out of the equation. Yeah,
that's very true. And actually, I'm just seeing in our Q&A box that there's a question from the audience, and we have about 4 or 5 minutes left. So if anybody else would like to ask a question, I'm happy to manage that with you. So Rohit asked what your prognosis is for globalization. So rather an acceleration or retreat?
I think there are two forces. There is definitely a force, a negative force of, I don't want to call it destruction, but let's call it that because I don't have a better word for it, that wants to separate, that wants to accentuate the old, wants to retreat to protectionism, retreat to building borders and all of that. And that happens. It's a natural human reaction. I do believe, however, I am more of an optimist. I've lived through a revolution, several wars, and many things and also a whole evolution of a country like China, and all I work in about 75 countries, all of which are really transforming for the better. I am more of an optimist. I think the globalization, if it means global prosperity, global collaboration, is going to be on the rise over the long term. We're going to have little hiccups in it because no major change in the world is without pain. But I think that despite the next few years of hiccups, globalization is going to be on the rise and it's going to accelerate. And I hope for the better. And I hope that the community of Plug and Play and the leaders here will each feel personally responsible to be a positive force in that arena.
Yeah, and I personally contribute and commit to that for sure. There's a question about increased demand post-COVID. In which areas would you see that? And you mentioned a few topics in your keynote already, but select one specific area of growth opportunity that could also be, for the startups joining today, a nice field to look into, for example.
Yeah, I think remote everything. Remote monitoring, remote controls, remote remediation, whether it's in a workplace, in safety, in security. I think cybersecurity, especially in the industrial and in buildings area, is going to be very big. In healthcare. So I think if you're thinking about all the dynamics of what is it like to remotely run things from a collaboration, from people to people, people to things, things to things. One of our customers, one of the first phone calls I received was when in the Middle East, and I won't mention customers, one of the customers who had, because of cyber, had made everything super secure and people couldn't go into their buildings anymore. They could no longer run anything. So they were on red alert to say, can you help us break into our systems and run them remotely? So we're going to have to architect the world differently. Think of it in safety, security, energy efficiency, and health, and remote everything in that area, and logistics.
That's great. And one final question, and I think that's an interesting one because you are also representing Honeywell. And so what would you say is, what do you need most from your partners now in that scenario and looking towards the growth and optimistic outlook that you described?
Yeah, I think certainly an open mind for collaboration more than ever before, but speed. We need, I mean, we are learning to work like a Silicon Valley company ourselves. We're 140,000 people in 100 countries. I have about 55,000 people in 75 countries. There's a lot of bureaucracy around that, right? And some of it is very necessary. But how do we make sure we act like an entrepreneur, a hungry entrepreneur, because the need to act with speed, with urgency is there. And also out collaborate your competitors and get to market faster. So speed and collaboration are my watchwords today.
That are really good words. In an ecosystem of open innovation, exactly what we need, speed and collaboration. So
Yes.
Shane, I'm very, very grateful for you joining today. Thank you so much for your contribution and your very wise words. I'm sure the audience has loved it very much. We have a ton of more questions, but we can't get to them today. But
thank you. And if
thank you so much.
Your community has been a great community, Jennifer and Saeed. Thank you for inviting me to be with you. I love what Plug and Play is doing. What you're doing is building glue in these times when the human touch is fading, but don't underestimate it. It's terrific. Thank you for including me. And if there are other questions, please feel free to send to me via LinkedIn or private chat. I'll be happy to entertain them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thanks, Shane. Okay, let's now dive into our startup pitches, and I'm handing over to my colleague, Addison. Thank you. See you later.
Hi, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the event so far. My name is Addison, and I'm an analyst on the ventures team here at Plug and Play with a focus on IoT. I'll be emceeing the startup pitches today. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Our first startup today is focusing on making programming robots as easy as possible. Please help me give a warm welcome to Southie Autonomy.
Good morning. My name is Ned Semonite, and I'm with Southie Autonomy, based in Boston, Massachusetts, and we've invented a magic wand for robot arms. Let me tell you about it. Higher quality, lower costs, improved worker safety and health are all reasons why people are putting in robots into the manufacturing today. But if you walk around a factory, you'll see there are a great deal of tasks that are not automated. So why is that? Well, it's simple. Robotic automation right now is still very expensive, and it's too much effort to get it all set up. It can take a long time with required experts. So you can't justify simple things that maybe don't run 24/7. If you look at the overall cost model, the robot hardware is actually pretty small. The bulk of it is in programming, which requires experts, and also engineering, where you have to develop fixtures to process the parts to the robot and have it do something with them. What we want to do at Southie is to eliminate the programming and to greatly reduce the engineering. We do that with our invention of artificial intelligence software that sits between the robot and the end user, so that the end user can just gesture to the robot what needs to be done, and the robot figures it out by itself. This will reduce costs by about 50% and speed up implementation by almost 10 times. So let me show you quickly kind of how this works. So this is first a very simple example where a person who was walking through our lab, we had her pick up our wand. She'd never seen a robot before. Here she's gesturing to some bars of soap and some shampoo bottles, and then to a box, indicating that the robot needs to pick up those items and put them in the box. Then she just hits execute, and the robot will sense the various objects, figure out how to pick them up, and figure out how to place them in the box. And it will go on and until it's done with that task. Here is a demo of a actual pilot customer that makes razor blades. We're not allowed to film in the factory, so this is a setup here that's in our office, where the robot is picking up razor blades and placing them in this plastic blister pack. This is something that is done by hand today because the packaging changes every few hours. They have packages that are custom for Walmart, for CVS, for Target. Everybody wants their own branding. Everybody wants different qualities and different promotions. So here, the robot senses the various razor blades that come down on a conveyor belt and puts them in the package, and an operator can reprogram the robot to have it do something different each time. Here's another example of a company that makes automobile bearings. Here, there are parts that arrive from China. They have to be heat treated and then shaped to the correct specifications, but someone has to take out those parts out of that basket by hand, and that takes a couple of hours. So now with our system, they can just wheel up this pallet without any particular fixturing, wave the wand, and the robot will figure out how to pick them up and put them in that basket. Going forward, we're looking for more pilots with these types of very simple applications, and over time, we'll be doing more and more advanced things. Would love to talk to you more about your operation and the opportunities that you might have to save money by being able to automate things where you couldn't get a positive ROI previously. Thank you very much, and I look forward to talking with you.
Thanks for that, Southie. Up next, we have a company focused on waterproofing your electronic devices. Please help me welcome Nanoflox.
Hi everyone, I am Rick Fung, CEO and founder of Nanoflox. The exponential growth of 5G IoT connected devices, from smartphones, tablets, commercial, industrial, smart technology, and autonomous components, are not designed to be weatherized against exposure to water, liquids, constant humidity, moisture, dust, corrosion, bacterial risk, as well as environmental gases and chemicals, becoming the #1 reason we generate 53 million tons of electronic waste, growing to 58 million tons, with less than 13% recycled. Nanoflox created the quickest, easiest to use solution to weatherize electronic devices. It features an ultra-thin coating, fully reworkable, without masking ports, still allowing connectivity. Our low startup solution replaces traditional conformal coating processes. A fully scalable solution reduces repair, maintenance, increases operational reliability and durability, extending product life cycle to reduce electronic waste and global consumption. Our 3-step process is quick and doesn't require special training. Simply dip device in our solution for 5 seconds, allow the solution to drain, and apply heat for 2 to 3 minutes to achieve an IP6768 rating. Let's take a look at the competing products, which requires huge capital investment, technical training, masking, doesn't protect connections, takes 1 to 2 hours for the process, limits scalability, and isn't reworkable. Simply put it, Nanoflox is a much cheaper, easier to use solution, which fully weatherizes devices onto any production line. Nanoflox uses the largest global laboratories to perform third-party test verification and has reached ROS 2.0 and ISO 9001 certified. We have experience coating various consumer, industrial, automotive, and military devices with ease. And here's a video of an actual demonstration.
How's the weather in Spain?
Which city in Spain?
Barcelona.
Right now in Barcelona, Spain. It's 53 degrees.
Foxconn, Sercom, Wistrom, some ODM, OEM, EMS companies, as well as top Fortune 500 companies have integrated our coating processes. Our business model is very simple. We provide custom nano-coating solutions that support its integration, which has led to several projects under testing with various electronic manufacturers in the US, Japan, China, Taiwan, and with South Korea and UAE to follow. The market opportunity is very large and grows exponentially due to the demand to streamline, connect, and utilize AI. This year alone, there will be over 16 billion connected industrial devices valued at over $78 billion. Nanoflox is self-funded, generating sales, and we have began a seed round fundraise. I hope you all consider us as your next solutions provider to ensure electronic devices are built to be more durable and reliable, to reduce raw material consumption from remaking product damaged by environmental conditions. Thank you.
Thanks, Nanoflox. Please help me welcome Robust Machines.
Hi, I'm Dilip Hanjuani. I'm the founder and CEO of Robust Machine. At Robust Machine, we are developing a breakthrough AI service platform for IoT and healthcare applications. Before Robust Machine, I had founded Blue Lane, which was acquired by VMware. In addition to Blue Lane, I have worked at a number of companies in leadership roles. Teletrack, which got acquired by Trimble, Skyhigh Networks, which was acquired by McAfee, and Illumina. A small team of data scientists and engineers who's working with me. I also have a seasoned advisory board with executives from Hitachi Vantara, IBM Watson, and Grail. At Robust Machine, we are addressing the problem of poor performance of AI in real world. We believe there are 4 reasons for that. Number 1 is the quality of the training data. Number 2, in certain applications, you need a large volume of AI model. For instance, if you want to do predictive maintenance in a factory, we need to build a model for every unique machine and component, and that can run into hundreds. In addition to these 2 problems, the other 2 problems are related to the maintenance of AI model. Once you deploy AI model in production, the model may run into new patterns, or it may face a drift because the properties of the data change with time. To address these problems, we have created our patent pending technology, Newness. That technology has helped us to create services that can improve the performance of AI and productivity of the data scientists by order of 2 to 5x. We support a number of market segments such as IoT and healthcare. Our technology is validated by tens of customers and tested by Hitachi Vantara. The Newness technology that we just discussed has the ability to identify the new information in the data. It can be used to extract the best samples for building or fixing the highest accuracy AI. It can also be used to optimize search for AutoML. That is a technology which is used to automatically generate AI models. Our service platform uses Newness guided learning engine for both automatic generation of AI models, and also it uses Newness to provide a closed loop lifecycle management of AI model. We are able to extract Newness from the data in production, and we bring back that Newness and we use that Newness to improve the model, and the improved model is deployed back again, creating this closed loop that can continuously manage the AI and improve its performance. Our platform provides application-specific plugins, for instance, we have plugins for IoT applications, and that can help with the acceleration of application for predictive maintenance or visual inspection. We are also working on plugin for healthcare applications such as drug discovery and medical imaging. Our solution improves accuracy, reduces the cost, and accelerates the time to market. The case study I'm going to discuss is the POC that we did with Hitachi Vantara. It was around 2 different opportunities for OEM partnership. One was to provide AI model execution, AI health management for a product called Hitachi Pentaho. And the second was AI model generation for smart industries for their new product. In our POC test, the performance of RMC model generation exceeded or matched both manually developed AI models by data scientists and best known results. And our newness can be worked as claimed. In one case, it was not even possible to develop a model without assist from the newness. So our investor, we are seeking 1 to 2 million in seed financing as safe note. Our planning for the following business activities in the next 12 months. We'll deliver on the requirement for Hitachi vendor deal. We complete the development for healthcare applications plugin, and we'll be starting 2 to 5 additional POCs with IoT and healthcare vendors. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Robust Machines. Up next, we're taking a look at computer vision for industrial workspaces. Please help me give a warm welcome to Kinetic Eye.
Hi, I'm Josh Butler with Kinetic Eye. Computer vision is poised to be the most transformative technology in industrial workplaces this century. You can see here how we're helping make that happen with one of Amazon's cross-dock partners in the Midwest. All of the industrial processes in the world, in warehouses, manufacturing, construction, energy, and materials, fall into one of two categories. 28% of all tasks are easily automatable. Robots, for example, can complete tasks like grasping, lifting, carrying, navigating, and they generally create easily captured analytics. The other 72% of tasks are highly complex tasks, which are mostly hidden from analytic systems. Today's industrial leaders are taking a hard look at these more highly complex tasks that don't lend themselves to full automation. And herein lies the big computer vision opportunity: to track the untracked, to monitor the unmonitored, to shed light on the wealth of data that complex human actions produce. Leaders like Amazon have seen the opportunity that Kinetic Eye represents and are using it to further their Amazon effect. We offer the non-Amazons the same sort of technical capability. Industrial managers are being asked to do more than any one person could ever do, yet they have the same old tools that aren't driving change. Process deviations are the enemy of operations managers. Kinetic Eye helps address quality and productivity issues from process deviations by providing continuous data feeds. U.S. workplace fatalities are up 17% in the last decade. We prevent workplace accidents with accident prevention, not accident analysis after the fact. But most importantly, we end an era of management plagued by isolated data from single sensors or systems. Let's see the technology in action. Slips and falls are some of the most common sources of claims and injuries. Leading causes include exposed drops, spills, and unprotected gates. Ergonomics are another leading cause of injury. Employees need to keep lifting in the power zone and avoid repetitive strain. Nearly 1 in 10 forklifts are involved in an accident every year. Maintaining a safe speed, a modest safety margin, and keeping all limbs inside the cage can prevent many serious injuries. PPE compliance isn't just about helmets, gloves, and safety vests. It's also a COVID-19 concern. Every business today needs to ensure that employees are maintaining social distancing guidelines and wearing appropriate PPE, including masks and gloves. One of our clients runs a COVID-19 test kit assembly and fulfillment operation for a medical lab in Oakland. They had two objectives: demonstrate concern and responsibility for employees, and second, differentiate by demonstrating high levels of hygiene for a discerning medical client. We set up 3 cameras and focused on social distancing and masks. Within a few days of deploying, we were feeding them insights that helped them confirm that they were actually doing a tremendous job in general. It was just the managers who needed to adjust their habits, and our video-based insights helped them address the minor issues quickly. Another client runs a cross-dock operation for Amazon, FedEx, and Expeditors in the Midwest. Their priorities were around business resilience during the COVID lockdown, reducing forklift-related accidents, and saving time for their safety team. We delivered 8 cameras and 5 policies, and within 3 months, we helped them identify unreported collisions and near misses, save hours a week on inspections, and ultimately reduce the number of COVID-19 social distancing violations by 75%. We have a 3-part commercialization strategy. We have a rapidly growing direct-to-customer sales pipeline. Our relationships with 2 of the top 5 workers' comp insurance carriers serve as a massive demand generation opportunity for us and insurance discount opportunities for our clients. and we intend to create and market our own workers' comp insurance product, similar to the Health IQ life insurance or Metro Mile technology-enabled auto insurance offering. Our team brings years of experience shipping AI for startups and various tech and industry giants, most recently in the self-driving car space. We recently closed our pre-seed round, having raised over $600,000 to date from strategic angels and investors, institutionals, and now we're honored and humbled to be shipping AI where it's needed most, tackling those super dangerous jobs that power our economy. Thanks for your time. I'm looking forward to hearing how we can serve you.
Thanks, Kinetic Eye. Up next, we're diving into the world of augmented reality. Please help me welcome Okta.
Hello from Berlin. I'm Henry, one of the co-founders of Okta. Together with Daniel and Elias, we founded Okta early 2019 in Berlin, Germany. We combine over 25 years of experience in building and managing software companies. Okta has worked with clients such as Siemens, KUKA, Porsche as an investor through APX, the University of Berkeley, and holds a strategic partnership with Deloitte and Festo. Our mission is to automate industrial training by scaling immersive technologies. Physical professions are hard to teach. Practical skills cannot be taught with text instructions. Workers need experiences. At the same time, all of you watching are experiencing the same situation. COVID-19 changed how businesses can operate day to day, and industrial training is needed to teach those changes to your employees. In training, mass face-to-face is not possible anymore. Alternatively, organizations can create or deploy virtual augmented reality alternatives, but all of them are stuck in the same problems. First, today, the supply chain is blocked. Second, there's no logistical hardware network to scale. Third, training installation is still manual work. And last but not least, immersive trainings are limited to the hardware that you can have. This is why we've built Okta. Okta helps clients with scalable creation, distribution, and access of immersive training. Let me show you how Okta works. This is a maintenance instruction for a medical ventilation machine. The user learns how to disassemble the used parts for disinfection on the mobile phone, or even while being at work on site with one hand only. The exact same instruction can be accessed with the exact same link through the browser on the computer, interacting with the 3D experience, allowing to explore the model from all sides. But here's the magic. Once more, the exact same link allows you to experience the fully immersed training on your VR headset within a matter of seconds. Okta furthermore works on any existing augmented reality headset such as HoloLens 1 or 2, Magic Leap, or Nreal. So, how does our system do this? For the end user, it's incredibly simple. The short link is the touch point through the existing channel inside your organization of choice, for example, the public service portal. The deep link jumps directly into Okta's content delivery engine, which detects the device and delivers the immersive technology to be rendered. For example, a virtual reality experience in a virtual reality headset. These settings have been configured by the administrator in the back office of the Okta Creator Platform, the central point for immersive training management and distribution. Okta developed plugins based on most 3D creation tools, enabling globally nearly 10 million 3D experts to already be fluent with how to create content for Okta from today. Immersive training relies on standard industrial source data. In this case, for example, a combination of 3D CAD product data and process knowledge from workflows, offering full industrial compatibility. So how can our clients integrate and distribute the links? They can, for example, share the link or QR code in product manuals. They can integrate them into their e-learning modules. They can make them parts of assignments in their learning management systems. They can simply share via an email or SMS, whatever you can think of. And last but not least, the links can be reattached into your product lifecycle management, helping internal operations. Today, there are 3,225 times more devices that can access Okta trainings than there are existing AR or VR devices. 4.7 billion devices can access Okta's content instantly. While we are compatible with the latest AR and VR hardware, Okta is also backwards compatible to the devices your employees already have in their pockets. Around 20% of practical training can immediately be standardized and scaled through Okta, which leads to a cost reduction of 15%. Our product is packaged into the player and creator, which are priced monthly and annually. A catalog training creation and conversion pricing list for services helps. For those of you asking, how can we get started? What we need from you is context, data, and people. If you provide this, it's just a matter of days to the first results. Please feel free to check out the demo on our website, and let's get everyone trained in a post-corona world. As a side note, we're experiencing an explosion in customer demand, and we will raise a bridge round in August. Please feel free to get in touch if you would like to get part of the journey. I'm Henry from Okta in Berlin. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for that presentation, Okta. Up next, we have a startup using an IoT system to optimize the energy usage and operation of buildings. Please help me give a warm welcome to Ppe Technology.
Today's commercial real estate investors want to access the information about the usage trends of their buildings anytime, anywhere, instantly. They want to be connected with their buildings. Hi, I'm Soner from Ppe Technologies, and we create digital models of usage trends in buildings with real-time data and AI. Today, we spend over 90% of our lives inside buildings, and it was even 100% a couple of weeks ago. That makes it much more important to understand how we use those buildings, how the human behavior changed during the day inside of the building. Because we invest every year over $250 billion in commercial buildings. And the reason for that is most of the time we are overcooling, overlighting buildings. We are overheating buildings, and we are using unnecessary big spaces on unnecessary big buildings. In order to overcome that problem, we developed a multiple sensor device, a battery-operated device, which we call Beat. It has 5 different sensors in it, and we installed that sensor throughout the building so that we know exactly what's happening in every part of the building. And the information is sent to the cloud-based software, and the software starts analyzing how the usage trends, how the day cycle changed during the day, how the occupancy patterns are changing, and what affects those change. Is it the indoor temperature levels? Is it the architectural design? What causes people go from one direction to another? We continuously create data, the system learns the building, and very importantly, it starts the operating building without needing any human intervention. And we also have a new feature which we call occupancy flow analysis. We can show you how the occupancy flow direction is happening during the day inside the building, so that you can use that information in order to optimize space usage, optimize marketing strategies, but also reduce risk in your buildings. And as of today, we installed over 3,800 devices in over 170 buildings. And our system is used in many different verticals, from banking, insurance, into hospitality, office buildings, from retail and industry into municipalities. But very importantly, our customers achieved over 30% savings by reducing their insurance costs, reducing their energy waste, but also optimizing their. And here you can see some of our installations with some of our projects and customers. And we are targeting commercial buildings and industrial facilities, and the market size is estimated to be 80 billion by the end of next year. In order to reach our target, we are looking for strategic partners that we can partner with, and that's also our business model. We would like to have strategic partners from different verticals, from telecom into smart city developers and consulting companies, from BMS vendors into insurance companies. Beat is one system that gives you 6 solutions that you can achieve over 30% savings. It is one system that you can use in very different departments or verticals. You can use it for space optimization, for optimizing energy efficiency, for reducing the risk in your buildings, but also you can use it for optimizing your whole operations. And we also have a new feature that we call Temp Eye Sensor. You can install that small, affordable, easy to integrate sensor in the doors, in your facilities, in your offices, or in your shops, so that you can track the body heat temperature of people and reduce risk and prevent risk even before entering your building. Spaces are limited, but the experience you can create from those spaces is unlimited. And Beat can give you that information and that unlimited information from your buildings. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the presentation, Ppe. Up next, we have a startup focused on improving the quality of the air that we breathe. Please help me welcome Wind Technologies.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ray, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Wind. Poor air quality is one of the most important health problems today. From pollution to allergens to now airborne COVID, everyone is affected. However, bad air quality is also largely invisible, and few people know whether the environment they live, work, and play in is as best as it can be for their health and well-being. Moreover, most people don't even know what to do if their environment is not optimal. Our mission at Wind is to improve indoor air quality at scale. And we aim to accomplish that via our data science platform, which measures, benchmarks, and improve environments at scale. The platform starts with our proprietary software-enabled sensors that measure the most comprehensive set of air quality metrics at a fraction of the traditional cost. We're leveraging the sensor network to build the largest data set of indoor environments, and through AI and data analytics, we can recommend the right products and services to improve the places in need. Let's start with first principles. Not all indoor environments are the same. This data set is from our sensor network, which shows vast differences in indoor air quality among the major hotel casinos on the Las Vegas Strip. The worst hotel has indoor air quality as bad as a typical day in New Delhi, whereas the best one is just as good as outdoor air in Hawaii. This data can be a currency to help the ones that invested in building and maintaining a good environment to increase their bottom line through higher rental and property prices and higher occupancy. For spaces that need help, this same data can guide them toward the right products and services to permanently improve their environment, so they too can enjoy the financial benefits. We're all at home today because of COVID, and many won't take the risk of going out to their commercial office, hotel, school, and other shared spaces. We believe that our technology and platform is a critical element to rebuilding trust and confidence in the built environment. By enabling and demonstrating a healthy indoor space free of contaminants and germs, we can help communities open up again and for businesses to prosper. It starts with our flagship product, the Wind Halo, which is the most comprehensive environmental monitor with the ability to monitor over 15 metrics on indoor air quality. And not only does it measure, but with the Wind Cloud, it can generate alerts, recommendations, and moreover automate the built environment for better health, while intelligently saving energy and HVAC infrastructure costs. To date, we've sold over 35,000 air quality devices in 80 countries around the world and have been featured in the Apple Store, Best Buy, and more. On the enterprise side, we've signed deals and are rolling out trials with some of the largest companies for the built environment. One of the biggest is Honeywell Home, which has an install base of over 150 million residences around the world, where we power their indoor air quality technology so they can better service their customers and provide them with a peace of mind. Our core technology team is comprised of graduates from MIT, complemented with sales leaders from Amazon and CBRE who know how to bring partners together. We believe that indoor air quality health is a win-win for everyone, including the resident and tenant, who is safer and healthier, the property owner, who can enjoy higher rents and property values, and finally, the product and service providers who know which places need their help. We are looking for partners to work together and expand the indoor air quality to the built environment. You can find me at ray@hellowind.com or at our website at www.wind.ai. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Wind. Let's shift gears to a startup that simplifies and automates how companies exchange data and connect workflows. Please help me give a warm welcome to 42 Layers.
Hello, everybody. My name is Naresh. I am one of the co-founders of 42 Layers. And firstly, I want to thank you all for taking the time to hear us talk about the amazing things we're building at 42 Layers. Kirat and I co-founded 42 Layers about a year back. And prior to 42 Layers, Kirat and I were both with Google, and we were leading AI and machine learning initiatives with Google Cloud. I was the business lead, Kirat was the technical lead, and together we were one of the founding members of Cloud AI, building the products and taking it to market. We actually raised our seed round back in July of last year, and we are supported by CRV, Lightspeed, and Pair. The business problem we solve is that of B2B communication, B2B automation. Anyone who's worked with entities either within their company, such as subsidiaries or different geographical entities, or external entities like partners and customers, knows the pain involved in exchanging data. Typically, it involves a lot of people extracting and pushing data into systems of records and a whole bunch of PDFs, Excel files, emails, and FTPs. And the fundamental root cause here is that systems just cannot talk to one another, especially when the systems are sitting across organizational boundaries and network boundaries. So the result of this is three things. We see a whole bunch of manual processes still being used in a lot of enterprises. Data silos still exist, because of interoperability. And even when people try to use iPaaS and platforms like that to connect systems, it's a hodgepodge of spaghetti of API connections, which is painful to manage. And number three, AI and machine learning, which everybody likes to talk about, ends up becoming a theoretical batch mode exercise where you're dumping data into some data warehouse and building models on top of, and most of the time those models don't even see the light of the day. So our mission is to empower your teams to harmonize data and automate processes, not just within your organization, but across your customers, across your vendors, and across your entire supply chain, so your teams can stop focusing on those manual processes and focus on innovation and building things. The core of what we have built is what we like to call WhatsApp for business systems, and the idea here is that, what if systems could seamlessly talk to one another like humans talk to one another using systems like WhatsApp and Signal and so on. The systems could be sitting anywhere internally, internal systems or external system or cloud-based systems. These systems could be representing data in different formats and different schemas, but 42 layers acts as the glue that connects these systems, taking care of all sorts of data transformations, schema transformations, governance, and AI required to make these systems communicate with one another. So it starts with three things as we start talking to customers: connectivity, intelligence, and visibility. Let's look at each one of these in a little bit of detail. Connectivity is all about bringing these systems together, connecting these systems together so people can start automating these manual processes. And the key innovation that we have done here is our connectivity fabric is completely decoupled and message based. Unlike API-based connection, which is basically point-to-point connections, we have completely decoupled these connections to a point where heterogeneous systems that have completely different impedance levels can talk to one another. As an example, a system that only talks API can now talk to a mainframe system or a system that only understands XML, and we take care of how these systems exchange data, taking care of format translations as we sit in between. This also gives people on either side the flexibility to connect into the downstream systems the way they want to connect it without impacting the other party. The second part is intelligence. Three parts to intelligence. There's transformations, governance, and the traditional AI. The transformation is how do you transform data as the data flows through between systems internally and externally without writing code. This is basically like users giving examples and we learning from examples and auto-generating programs to do the transformation. The second is governance, which is applying PII detection, DLP enforcement, policy enforcement as the data is flowing through our fabric. And third is the traditional machine learning, translating data, translating languages, converting metrics, doing anomaly detection in real time as the data is flowing. And then the last part of that is the visibility. Once your systems are connected, are able to talk to one another, we pump the data into any data warehouse of your choice so you can start acting on that data in real time. And second is we come with out-of-the-box control towers to look at your business metrics and do analytics on top of it. This is one of the use cases we did with a G500 company. The problem here was that of EDI. They were seeing a lot of chargebacks. They were seeing a lot of errors. They were spending a whole bunch of time in taking manual files, Excel files, CSVs, and in translating and putting it into their systems of record. And as a result of that, the customer experience was pretty low. It took us 2 data flows in a week, what it would have typically taken a team of consultants in 6 months to go implement, and we were able to reduce their EDI chargebacks by 80%, bring the manual work down by 60 hours, and improve the customer satisfaction by 40%. With that, I'd like to end my presentation and open it up to any questions. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for that presentation, 42 Layers. Up next, we have a startup that will enable the 5G transformation of industrial IoT. Please help me welcome Alton Labs.
Hi, and welcome to Alton Labs virtual pitch. My name is Ahmed Kanan. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Alton Labs. We are a bunch of PhDs who are building a platform to enable smart infrastructure using next generation IoT and analytics technologies. I met my co-founders at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where I was a postdoc working on millimeter wave systems and where I received my PhD in electrical engineering in 2017. Hussam Sadiq brings in more than 15 years of academic and industry experience, and Hengwang Jiang is currently an associate professor of civil engineering at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. Combining our knowledge of RF engineering, mobile communication technologies, civil engineering, and construction technologies, the three of us realized something interesting about construction in general and infrastructure in specific. While RF engineering, mobile technology, and data analytics have seen great advances in the lab, its adoption in the field, particularly for infrastructure, has been extremely slow. And that's a shame, because America's infrastructure report card does not really look good, and it could use some smart infrastructure. Essentially, features like analytics, asset monitoring, and quality control could be enormously beneficial to infrastructure stakeholders who build large and small infrastructure projects, who manage the OT assets or monitor sites for quality control. But all of those tasks require advanced RF engineering techniques and reliable cellular connectivity to ensure flow of data or images to relevant stakeholders. Current technologies in the field make adapting these technologies prohibitively complicated, expensive, and even destructive. Because if that vital city or transportation asset is not monitored, the result could be catastrophic, like this one, the pedestrian bridge collapse at Florida International University in March 2018, or if you remember back, the Minneapolis bridge collapse in August 2007. Such catastrophes often cause massive property damage with hefty repair bills in the millions of dollars. They leave cities with paralyzed transportation systems, and they pose very high public safety risks. To show you the value of Alton Labs platform, let me walk you through a use case for our technology, non-destructive bridge monitoring systems. Roughly 10% of bridges in the US are rated structurally deficient with an average structural age of 43 years, and with 40% over 50 years. So if you are a state level DOT, a city management office, or even a university with a transportation assets to monitor, you are desperate for an efficient way to identify problems in concrete structure such as bridges at an early stage non-destructively. Our platform uses radio frequency technology and data processing techniques to capture data of concrete structure and reconstruct an accurate image for the inside of structure exactly as an ultrasound captures a fetus image. The system utilizes RF propagation and reflection measurements to capture the structured data and uses our proprietary signal analysis technique and algorithm to construct an internal image of the structure. Without diving into too much of the technical details, the system is capable of identifying interior micro defects, such as cracks as thin as a human hair, and detects weak stress changes with high degree of accuracy within service bridges, so traffic does not need to be stopped. We have launched our pilot using our lab prototype in collaboration with the Louisiana Transportation Research Center and the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. Based on our market research, we determined that as a service revenue model is very appealing to potential customers. For customers, it eliminates major obstacles such as hardware setup and maintenance, and with an entry price of $1,200 per site per month, infrastructure stakeholders could maintain our service within their operational budget. As a seed stage startup, we are seeking a lead investor to raise $500,000, of which we have 25% committed, and we plan to use the funds for our MVP launch at least 5 pilot sites and achieve $72,000 in annual recurring revenues. Alton Labs enables smart cities applications by leveraging RF engineering, advanced cellular connectivity, and data analytics to transform infrastructure into IoT systems. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Alton Labs. Up next, we have a startup looking to eliminate power as a roadblock to the Internet of Things. Please welcome Jiva.
Hi, I'm Scott Bright, CEO here at Jiva, and we're working to connect the next billion things to the internet. Because the so-called Internet of Everything has a serious scaling problem. No current radio technology can provide the necessary combination of power, cost, density, range, and real-time data transmission that is necessary to support continued exponential growth in demand for connectivity. In fact, the trajectory of radio and battery chemistry innovations have already become the limiting factors for IoT growth. Even today's newest breeds of low-power radio still require relatively large, power-hungry, and expensive components at both send and receive stations. Jiva is working to eliminate this roadblock by reinventing how wireless data transmission works. Our passive backscatter technology consumes 3 orders of magnitude less power than any existing radio system. We achieved this breakthrough using reflected RF energy to encode and send data rather than using emitted RF energy the way a conventional radio transmitter does. More importantly, we can encode the reflected information using standard packet data protocols, which can be received by low-cost, commodified radio hardware. And, at approximately the size of a grain of rice and costing in the tens of cents at high volume, our backscatter modem chip will enable sensing devices to be embedded into everyday objects at an unprecedented scale. We are building a full-stack solution with a connectivity-as-a-service engagement model, and intend to provide everything needed to deploy and manage very large-scale networks of IoT endpoints. Our system is capable of continuously streaming hundreds of kilobits per second of data across hundreds of meters of range using less than 100 microwatts of source power. This means no latency or duty cycle downtime due to battery cost constraints or energy harvesting limitations, as is the case with all other competing IoT wireless technologies. We see a giant opportunity for our platform in a variety of market segments. Our initial focus, however, is to provide hardware, software, and integration services to help early adopter clients create new solutions in a subset of these markets. Our current customers have demonstrated high demand for connectivity of consumable and disposable products and packaging. So our product development initiatives are focused on large-scale opportunities to embed inexpensive wireless sensors that automate inventorying and stock replenishment to help manufacturers and distributors build faster and more efficient supply chains by providing real-time, unit-level data generated by the products themselves. We've been working with pilot customers to develop proof-of-concept systems in advance of our first commercial product release slated for later this year. Recent examples include a demonstration for P&G showcasing a battery-free sensing system that could be economically built into consumable packaging. For Google, we've enabled a new class of peripheral device that streams data to a tablet or phone without ever needing a replaceable or rechargeable battery. We've also created an environmental sensing system for LaForge that can be embedded inside walls, and helped Novo Nordisk create a prototype disposable insulin pen that relays data through a user's smartphone. Jiva is a 4-year-old spin-out from the Deep Tech Labs at the University of Washington. The co-founding team have authored more than a dozen award-winning academic research papers and are the primary inventors of the IP upon which our technology is based. We currently have a staff of 12 engineers headquartered in Seattle. Shortly after launch, Jiva raised an initial $1 million in seed funding, followed a year later with a $2 million note. Since then, we have generated over $2 million in NRE and prototyping revenues. Jiva currently has runway through the beginning of next year, which we are seeking to extend by another 6 to 8 months to ensure completion of the next critical milestones, including release of the ASIC later this year for pilot deployments through the first half of next year. We anticipate raising a larger acceleration round next year to scale up commercial deployments, launch our subscription services platform, and complete the next products in our pipeline. Thanks for your time and interest. I welcome any questions or requests for more information.
Thanks for that, Jiva. Continuing in the vein of connectivity, up next, we have an edge computing platform for the industrial Internet of Things. Please help me welcome Nebbiolo.
Hi, my name is Gary Mendel. I'm the VP of Worldwide Sales and Business Development for Nebbiolo Technologies. We're a software infrastructure play focusing on digitizing industrial systems at the edge. We were founded in 2015 by Cisco executives in the IoT space with 3 vertical markets focusing on manufacturing, energy, and utilities. Our software has been in production release since 2018, and we're fortunate enough to have customers ranging from active pilots to deployment to scale with known entities. Our business model is a SaaS model. We're an open platform. We're hardware agnostic, and our distribution channels is our primary path to market. A little bit about our infrastructure in a simplified view. So we have 2 main components: the Fog SM, which is a system manager, which has orchestration and centralized management. And then we have the Fog OS, or the operating system, which has edge virtualization and data collection, a bunch of other functions. So if you look at the diagram, data is collected from all these various devices at the bottom. Our system collects this data and moves it up to applications that are hosted on the Fog OS at the edge, hosted and processed. And then these devices, these nodes, are managed again centrally through a centralized management orchestration solution. So what Nebbiolo brings is virtualization, containerization, applications, security, all at the edge, but most notably in real time. We insert ourselves in different areas across the verticals. In automotive manufacturing, we insert ourselves on the shop floor in the OT domain. In oil and gas, we insert ourselves more in the field, remote field, where field processing and production operations occur. And in the smart grid, we insert in transmission substations and primary and secondary distribution stations. One of the key use cases we are amplifying is virtualization. And what we typically see is environments with very old IPCs failing, running legacy applications on old Windows versions. Applications won't work on new hardware. New applications won't work on the old hardware. So we developed a proprietary cloning tool so we could clone at scale and virtualize. So essentially, the cloning tool captures the underlying configuration, virtualizes it, and puts it on more stout hardware at the edge. And we can run old versions of Windows and applications and new Windows applications and Linux across alongside, and all centrally managed. So we're seeing about a less than 24-month payback on these projects. Looking at more of an analytics play, Audi has been one of our customers that's done at a welding and riveting manufacturing plant. An average car is 5,000 welds. They could only quality test 1 car a day manually. We implemented our solution in their shop floor along with Intel, built a predictive inline quality testing application, and essentially we're able to automate all the inline quality testing and look at all 5 million welds a day. And we saw about 30 to 50% just alone in the cost of labor reductions. Same thing in Hyundai, similar. We use engine head manufacturing. We implemented predictive inline quality control. They had a 1% manual inspection. We moved that to 100% and across a bunch of lines at scale, the 5 lines with 25 IPCs each. If we move to oil and gas, we've been working with Exxon, virtualizing applications in the field so that we could remotely manage them. And utilities, pretty much the same, primary and secondary substations. They have applications that manage the grid flow and also security. We virtualize those, put them on more powerful infrastructure, add analytics, and application management. On summary, why Nebbiolo? Frost and Sullivan said it best. They kind of gave us an award recently and said we were the most complete edge platform from industrial automation. And so really about us, we have a very light footprint. We're purpose built for OT, and we run in real time. And we can virtualize legacy and new applications and run them on the same nodes. We can enable streaming analytics. We also have a programless data pipeline development capability where anybody can build analytics applications and deploy them on our platform. Aside from comprehensive orchestration, We also offer high availability. And lastly, we've invested heavily in patents around security, in particular device data ownership and digital rights. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for that, Nebbiolo. Up next, we have a startup building a simple-to-use interface for AI-powered business analytics. Please help me welcome Tellius.
Hi, I'm here to tell you about Tellius. Tellius is a guided insights platform. We empower business people to ask what happened, why it happened, and take action in minutes or hours versus weeks or months. In our personal lives today, we're using guided insights in applications like Google, Waze, or Netflix. They're all great examples of providing guided insights. They take advantage of a lot of data and use machine learning and natural language processing to create an artificially intelligent powered application to guide you to action. You're using this in your personal lives. Tellius wants to do this for you in your professional life. However, guided insights are a daunting task for companies given their current analytic tools and the data architecture in use today. The process creates obstacles. The obstacles are it takes 5 to 8 disjointed tools to complete the analytic journey. It requires manual analysis in each tool. We have to duplicate the data and move it from one tool to another. It creates a backlog of requests for the data scientist, the data engineer, and the data analyst, and it's not scalable. These obstacles create this gap that I'm showing you. The gap is between the knowns, which are the dashboards that monitor your KPIs and report on them, and the unknowns, which are the insights locked up in your company's data that are hard to uncover because of the disjointed nature of the data and analytic tools. It's this gap that causes everybody who is not a data scientist in the company to wait for the answer to why something happened and how to take action. So what's the answer? Well, the answer is Tellius. We're filling the chasm between the knowns and unknowns by providing guided insights using natural language processing, machine learning, and artificial intelligence that allows business people to ask a question against all of their data. Once they get that answer and see what happened, they can quickly move to why it happened and how to take action. And that taking action allows them to create value or proactively avoid a disaster and ultimately meet their business objectives. Let me share with you a success story from one of our pharmaceutical clients. Every month they get 3,000 requests from pharmacy benefit management firms who think they're entitled to rebates. And they back those requests up with reams of data. How much? Well, each request contains 100 plus variables across 54,000 different providers. The fact is they simply could not analyze and validate all 3,000 rebate requests in the federally mandated period of 21 days. And as a result, they approved invalid rebate requests. With Tellius, the data prep time was collapsed from 17 days to 3 hours. The decision time went from 34 days to less than a day, and they were able to validate that multiple requests were invalid and not due a rebate, thus saving the company $2.7 million in the first 60 days. Tellius would welcome the opportunity and the chance to introduce you to our technology and show you how to uncover insights and value hidden in your company's data.
Thanks, Tellius. Up next, we have a startup transforming how enterprises deploy artificial intelligence. Please help me give a warm welcome to FlapMax.
Good morning. My name is Dave, and I'm founder and CEO of FlapMax. FlapMax is a platform for seamlessly deploying AI models into production environments. Our mission is to make advanced technologies more broadly available and easy to use for everyone. We started in 2018. In 2020, we raised $500K. After that, we signed up a few POC customers and joined the Plug and Play Innovation Platform. And I was pleased to receive the extraordinary ability visa We also joined Azure and Oracle for startups. We signed up a few pilot customers in May. I was pleased to be invited to join Masterlink as a judge and as a mentor. In June, we're developing a platform for accelerating the drug discovery process for COVID-19. There's a new opportunity for real-time data today. 57 billion will be spent on AI. 25% of data will be real-time, and 95% of data will be coming from IoT devices. This presents an opportunity for organizations to leverage AI models to derive insights. And Flatmax is uniquely positioned to help organizations achieve just that purpose. However, there's a challenge in deploying and productionizing high-performance AI models. There's a silo that exists between models, data sets, and cloud infrastructures, hybrid, edge computing platforms. And we are solving that problem today by helping organizations make those connections between all of these components. Specifically, we're solving the problem in 3 different ways. 1, we provide a software stack that is optimized for inference. Secondly, we run all neural network models on our custom hardware architecture, and we are using an on-chip neural network optimization strategy that we have developed. In terms of performance, we're 10x better than a general purpose GPU, and we're 3x better than a high-end expensive GPU. So we'll put all of this together into a package that essentially you can think of it as a plug and play platform where you can bring in your own model, or you can use our tools to develop new models. You can connect your data to it and then connect your applications via APIs and SDKs that we provide. Additionally, we have an IoT platform that is Microsoft Azure certified. Our business model is as follows. We have a SaaS platform that we run cloud-based line of business solutions on top of. We have a PaaS platform for cloud edge-based services, and we can also customize our solution to fit your specific needs. We have partnered with some of the best organizations in the world, so you're rest assured that you're in good hands. We are currently working with 3 sets of customers today. We have a customer in the media entertainment space, as well as in industrial IoT. And of recent, we started working on the life sciences project, which is specific to COVID-19. And we have a demonstration ongoing today. We also presented a paper at an international conference just yesterday. We would like to talk to you to explore ways that we can partner with you, talk to you about potential investment opportunities as we move on to our next fundraising campaign. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for that presentation, Flatmax. Up next, we have a startup solving today's IoT management and security challenges. Please help me welcome Smart Axiom.
I'm Trent Poltronetti from Smart Axiom. We deliver software to manage and secure the Internet of Things. We have already accomplished a lot with a tiny angel investment, so are confident of a solid return for the seed round we are now raising. Here is a brief overview of the opportunity. Beyond basics like secure boot and encryption, IoT security is all about approval. Is this device a legitimate part of the system and not a compromised unit that has been added maliciously? And is it allowed to do what it's asking for, such as to send data externally or turn on the heat? The big question is, where do these approvals come from? When most people talk about IoT security, those approvals are coming from a server in a PKI model, largely consisting of a chain of certificates and keys encrypting communications. When implemented properly, this can be quite secure. Organizations are finding out, though, that there are shortcomings to this model, such as high latency, a single point of failure at the server, complex certificate and key management, high hosting costs, and a susceptibility to man-in-the-middle attacks. Instead, Smart Axiom runs a custom light blockchain among the devices at the edge of the internet, such as gateways and routers, or even security cameras and mesh Wi-Fi nodes. Blockchains are great at building trust, and once these devices can trust each other, they can work together to defend themselves and the attached system. Our system is fast, redundant, affordable, and scalable, fixing the issues with server-based security by replacing them. Our solution is comprised of three main components. BlockLock is our light edge blockchain and is the core product. Beachhead is our firmware to secure endpoints and actuators. Finally, Tenacious is our cloud interface for archiving, management, and reporting. It interoperates with existing enterprise backends, but the system runs and stays secure even if the servers are not available. This creates a complete endpoint through edge to cloud IoT management and security solution. Our distributed peer architecture brings several benefits: a very fast local response, reliability through redundancy, and it scales very well. It maintains the highest security while reducing hosting costs. And finally, our IoT smart contracts further push intelligence to the edge. Another huge benefit is that since Smart Axiom software runs at the application layer, it works well on all common networks, operating systems, and processors. It doesn't care if data arrives by Bluetooth, Zigbee, Wi-Fi, or 5G. It is used widely on Linux, RTOS, and Windows, and runs great on Intel and ARM processors. Our software is broadly applicable. Today, it runs smart buildings occupied by Xerox, HP, and Volvo Research. It secures tracking devices on trucks and shipping containers for BOE Logistics and Globe Teleservices. It has been highlighted by Intel on their gateways, Marvell on mesh Wi-Fi nodes, and NXP and Renesas on their microcontrollers. We also successfully completed a pilot project to manage and secure a Toyota production line and a proof of concept from Mazda that showed how a vehicle can defend itself. Now, Smart Axiom is seeking seed funding. We already achieved great things with only sweat equity and less than $500,000 of angel investment. We have customer deployments at Renesas, Xerox, BOE Logistics, and Volvo Research. We have built a great core team accomplished in engineering, marketing, and sales. We have 3 patents published and have delivered standard product version 1. Now we are seeking a $1.5 million seed round to roll out a faster to deploy subscription model, to drive our technology to market by building marketing and sales, and to further leverage the awesome partners we have already attracted. Given what we have accomplished so far with such a small angel investment, we are confident of a solid return for our seed investors. Thank you for listening, and here is how to contact us.
Thanks for that, Smart Axiom. Up next, we have a startup providing long-range, low-power wireless technology for IoT. Please help me welcome Ubeak.
Hi, my name is Jay, co-founder of Ubeak, and my team has innovated a new low-power, long-range wireless technology for IoT. Our technology has been proven to be the most reliable low-power, long-range wireless technology for large-scale IoT projects. Here's a snapshot of the landscape. Similar technologies include LoRa, LoRaWAN, NB-IoT, and LTE-Cat-M1. The key differentiating factors of our technology is that we are the least power-consuming technology and also allow a very wide data throughput. Our solution is composed of a software protocol stack embedded in 2 main hardware components, one being the weightless base station and the weightless end device module. You plug in our base station, you can enjoy miles of radius of coverage. In dense urban environments, we've experienced anywhere from 2 to 4 miles radius. In more open urban suburban areas, we've tested upwards of 8 miles radius coverage with a single base station. Our technology is extremely low power. in that any end device with our end device module embedded inside can enjoy years of battery life. Our technology is proven to be the most scalable in that it can connect the most amount of end devices. And it is also a bidirectional communication technology. So end devices can reliably send to the base station and vice versa, allowing for some key IoT features like firmware over the air, message acknowledgements, and security parameters like mutual authentication. So we have successful deployments connecting utilities, EV fleet chargers, panic buttons, factory center networks, solar panels. A cool concept that we are currently looking into develop is a concept for COVID-19. It is composed of a single network connecting two main end devices, one being a people counting sensor, which can be installed on the top of every entryway, and also signage, which allows transparency for everyday people like you and I to make educated decisions of whether to enter a restaurant, a store in a mall, or a meeting room. So our story starts in April 2016 when we were founded, and we participated in the largest IoT tender in Taiwan to connect smart meters. Through a 13-month due diligence process and competing against global vendors, our technology was proven to be the most reliable, the most scalable, the most cost-effective. So we clinched our first 2 tender victories, which equates to a $24 million US contract, and it entails a single network of 285,000 devices. We ended this past year, 2019, with some very nice awards, including the IEEE Startup of the Year and the AWS Startup Challenge winner. Currently, we have over 100 paying customers spread over 35 countries. And our biggest customers are Rakuten and the Taiwan Power Company. Now, my last slide, I just invite all the partners, the corporate partners listening in to reach out if they have any concepts around IoT or whether our technology can curb any of the pain points that they're experiencing. I look forward to discussing with you guys in the near future. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for that, Ubik. Next up, we're moving back into the world of computer vision with a software that optimizes the processing of AI across devices. Please help me welcome Xalient.
Hi, I'm Lars. I'm the CEO of Xalient.
By the end of the decade, 50 billion IoT cameras will be collecting a deluge of digital data. This will power smart cities and industry, commercial transformations, new technologies for home, mobility. Everything about our world will change. But all of these cameras need to be processed. All of this data must be made sense of. And for that, we need AI. But today's AI is just not up to the job.
The price of the devices that it takes to power this, the bandwidth to move the data around, and the cloud compute costs and storage costs to handle all of these cameras and all of this video data simply exceed the value of the use case.
The root cause is today's vision AI is inefficient.
They look at every single pixel of every single frame of video. And intuitively, this is not the way that you and I see the world. When we look at the world, we immediately identify what is it that is important about the field of view, and we focus our attention on those things. My co-founder is the PhD neuroscientist who identified how human beings do this and then mapped that insight into AI. And the result is the world's most efficient computer vision. 76 times faster than the state-of-the-art YOLO V3. Now, normally when you do this, you lose accuracy. But what's so important here is that we can keep or improve accuracy even as we scale down to IoT devices. And so more exciting perhaps than the efficiency number is the opportunity for us to open lots of new use cases across industries. So we can look at retail automation, and we can look at drones and inspection services. We can transform security, and of course, ultimately, mobility. All of this can be done because we're reducing the cost to serve these use cases. One of our customers has done exactly this in retail analytics cutting their CapEx by 30x. Now, privacy is important. Because we're doing processing of the AI onboard edge devices, we can remove faces and other personally identifiable information before it's transmitted to the cloud. Another of our customers is using AI onboard their drones, and they cut their 4G bill by 94%. So sometimes it's not about money, it's just about speed. And in safety applications from ADAS to factory automation, we see that speed and accuracy are the only criteria that matter, and we can deliver these better than anybody.
Xalient can be used as a standalone detector or in combination with your AI. Selective attention can zoom in, providing more pixel information to your AI, improving accuracy. Alternatively, we can operate as a low-power, battery-saving standby mode, an AI that knows when to turn on the rest of your AI. Use it to extend battery life, or just save you on your cloud costs by eliminating waste. Our tools give you everything you need for computer vision. Train AI, deploy it to your edge devices, monitor, manage, and deliver updates.
My co-founder invented this technology. I'm the CEO. I've got 20 years in enterprise software. My last business I sold to Alipay, and I come from MIT EE. Our team is now built out globally, and we look forward to hearing more from you about your use cases and your needs for fast and accurate computer vision. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Xalient. Up next, we're sticking with the computer vision theme to look at a software that uses AI to watch security cameras. Please help me give a warm welcome to Iris.
Hi everyone, my name is Michael Bingham and I'm the co-founder and CEO of XIris, AI for video surveillance and automatic crime detection. Look around, I'm sure you will see a security camera somewhere in your vicinity. In fact, there are 350 million surveillance cameras in the world. But there is currently no practical solution to cost-effectively and efficiently monitor large networks of cameras with high accuracy. In other words, there's no one behind the cameras watching it. And this is because institutions lack resources to actively monitor criminal activity, and this has life-threatening effects, such as 50% of violent crimes caught on camera actually not being reported, and it taking over 15 minutes for law enforcement to respond to a crime or incident. The market for video surveillance is growing, and it isn't slowing down anytime soon either. Out of the 350 million cameras in the world, we consider 10 million of these cameras to be part of our serviceable, addressable market. So our solution for this was to create Iris, AI that monitors security footage that is trained to detect crimes and threats in real time. Iris will watch security cameras and notify the authorities whenever she sees something abnormal. Iris is purely a software solution that integrates with pre-existing cameras and analyzes their footage in the cloud. This allows us to be up to 70% more cost-effective than the solution human monitoring. Now, our algorithm is cloud-based. Whenever it detects something violent, such as vandalism, it sends a sample of that clip to Noonlight, which is a human verification service. They verify that the event is occurring before we alert the customer, and if the situation is dire enough, we can use their API to send police to the business's location. The customer is then alerted through a web interface and a text or email. Now, we're able to adapt our technology to various environments due to the versatility of our algorithm. Recently, we've developed COVID-19 related features to help businesses navigate through this pandemic. These include mass detection, overcrowding detection, and cough detection. We're able to protect workers in the manufacturing plants by identifying PPE as well as potential hazards. In addition, our threat detection technology can be integrated into self-driving vehicles to identify crimes and accidents in real time. We believe these vehicles can play a very important part in public safety in the future. And for smart cities, we can automate crime and accident detection for a faster and more streamlined police response. Here's what it will look like when you get that notification on our web interface in a sort of timetable thing. These events allow you to see the details of the event and view a captured clip of the event. So if there is a vandalism occurring in your event, you can see the notification pop up in real time along with the confidence level, the location where it happened, the time that it happened, and you can also see a video event recording of the event. So our revenue model is pretty straightforward. It's subscription-based, and for each camera added to our network, we charge either $500 annually or $60 monthly. We expect to generate $6 billion annual revenue if we reach our expected market penetration in the US. We currently have about 6,000 MRR, and our customers are mainly small convenience stores, office buildings, and schools. We're in talks with a couple of potential large corporate customers who are interested in deploying Iris in their products, warehouse, and construction sites. We're also entering into a trial in West Palm Beach, Florida, for the police department as well. Now, since launching, we have deployed nearly 100 cameras and have detected 2 acts of vandalism that require police response. Our models have high accuracy, as well as our accuracy being 97% and only less than 1% a false positive. In addition, we are piloting some of our newer detection features related to COVID-19 with select universities in the United States to help them open back up in the fall. We're backed by Right-Side Capital, and we've raised and committed capital of over $200,000. We're raising $500K in total for our pre-seed round using the post-money safe convertible note structure. This will assist us with customer acquisition, dataset acquisition, and other growth-related expenses. Thank you for listening, and if you want to help us invent the future, our email address is below, and our phone number is there as well.
Thanks for that presentation, Iris. Up next, we have a startup that uses their intuitive code-free platform to help high-tech enterprises be more data-driven. Let's all give a warm welcome to Vanti Analytics.
Hi everyone, I'll be presenting Vanti Analytics, which enables AI-driven manufacturing by a self-service data science product for operation teams. The founding team is comprised of myself and my co-founder Nero, and together we're sharing more than 25 years in technology organizations. We're taking concepts to high-volume manufacturing products in the automotive, communication, and consumer electronics industries. Ren, our CBO, brings 20 years of experience in enterprise customers management, and Eagle is a leading expert in data science and machine learning. So the leading manufacturers today still can leverage their data in order to improve operations performance, namely yield, margins, reliability and quality costs, and much, much more. Only 1% of the data collected during testing and manufacturing is eventually being analyzed. The reasons for this are the high complexity of the data, the inability to monitor and maintain advanced models in production, and the domain expertise required to understand and act upon those models. So let's look at a specific example. On a testing line of a mass-produced electronic system, existing data from units testing and RMA documentation were fed into Vanti's platform, which developed a model to predict in real time units which are highly likely to fail and stop them before they ship. Deployment of the model didn't require any new tests or data to be collected. It was only based on existing data from the testing line. The potential savings on RMA costs for that line alone are $1 million per year. And with almost 100 different lines over different sites, the total saving amount is huge for that company alone. So this is just one use case. But by using Vanti's platform, manufacturers achieve excellence across the entire life cycle of products, from NPI speedup through optimized real-time testing time, all the way to early false predictions that minimize reliability-induced costs. Our unique solution is comprised of 3 parts. Real-time deployed model that optimizes decision per each unit being produced. The second is a self-service analytics platform designed for non-data scientists for insights, full explainability, and building new models. And the third is the very critical part, that is the continuous monitoring and improvement of models, so they can be leveraged into new operations, whether these are changes in existing lines or other sites and new products. This is done by transfer learning, which is possible thanks to Vanti's proprietary IP. Our IP is different and outperforms anything that's available today, as it relies on new techniques that allowed us to pour domain expertise into the building of models for each use case and client, but it's done completely automatically. We're now launching and going to our seed round to expand the R&D team, going into 2021 with the enterprise-ready first product, and then scaling the sales and marketing team, which then would enable upselling within the first enterprises. So thank you, and for any additional questions, please feel free to contact at info@vantianalytics.com. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Vanti Analytics. Up next, we have our final startup. They're helping you build your own digital transformation without bugging IT. Please give a warm welcome to GoEpic.
Hello, my name is Wellington and I'm a GoEpic CEO. Our mission is to make digital transformation easy. You are probably getting a lot of pressure to move towards digital transformation, but you still have to deal with many challenges daily. Like you're still using spreadsheets, using tons of paper, dozens of different softwares for each one for one different department. If you are a big company, you already hired a huge ERP and you have to deal with the inflexibility when you need to change or customize your processes. If you want to try different technologies, top-edge technologies, you need to hire and invest in different platforms and in different startups. You have low integration between your departments, and you have a hard time to visualize and have access to data. I know it's painful, right? Isn't it? We understand that digital transformation is a marathon, and we had the opportunity to work with companies from different sizes, in different challenges, and in different levels of digital transformation maturity. So we developed a journey through our platform where you can move according to your digital maturity level. The first wave is all about going digital, so you can have data segmentation. You can build your own epics. Epic is a way to build and segment your departments. You can have a quick start through our templates. You can filter by technology like IoT, augmented reality, image recognition, through departments like quality maintenance, safety, and operations, for example. So you have this quick start. You can plan and follow through calendar or Kanban visualizations. And this first wave is all about eliminating paper, having a massive scale, increasing the execution speed of your processes, gaining visibility all over it, and executing it online and offline through smartphones, tablets, and through the web. Second wave is all about orchestrating your processes. You can integrate with other softwares. You can integrate between your departments. You can notify and scale your processes. Identify operational gaps, transcend boundaries of departments, production sites, and companies. And most of all, you can enable the information flow all over your value chain, even outside your company with your partners, for example, and clients. Third wave is all about using the right technology for your processes. So here is where GoEpic differs from any kind of company or startup. Instead of hiring lots of startups or a lot of solutions, you can hire just us, because we are an end-to-end platform and we are hardware agnostic. So you have a way to execute your processes through smartphones, tablets, smart glasses, or even smart band. You can use augmented reality to guide workers, image recognition, QR code, voice recognition, IoT. So you can have your team all digital, all time, anywhere. Right now, we have more than 80 factories or 80 clients from very different sizes and very different sectors. Our platform is worldwide knowledge, and we are starting to look for a Series E because most of our clients that did a POC last year are becoming a SaaS clients, and we think this is the right time to scale and go global. Go epic or go home. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for that, Go Epic. And with that, we're actually finished with startup pitches for this session. I want to remind everyone that we still have networking going on Umbrella, so you can use this QR code to jump on and connect with other people. Up next, we're going to have an exciting fireside chat between our partner Daikin and the startup Elikens. I'll pass things back to my colleague Jennifer to take things from here.
Well, hey there. I hope you very much enjoyed the startup pitches. Well, I did for sure. Next up is, as Edison just said, the pilot project presentation and the fireside chat with our corporate partner Daikin and our startup Elikens. We have just written up their success story about co-developing a new product, and we thought it would be amazing for the IoT audience to learn some insights and best practices from them today. Let me introduce the participants real quick. With us today is Tetsuko Nango. He started a career in Daikin as a system test engineer with more than 10 years of experience in the IoT fields such as HVAC remote monitoring, energy management, and demand response. Since he moved to Silicon Valley in 2015, he's been facilitating the collaboration projects with startups. With him is his colleague, Kevin Ninomiya, who's an engineer turned business development corporate strategy professional who attends law school at night. He manages the overall innovation pipeline activities at Daikin Open Innovation Lab in Silicon Valley, acting as the point of contact and striving to turn technology collaborations into new business values. Kevin specializes in predictive maintenance technologies at Daikin, but he's always interested to learn about creative and/or cool technologies. From Elikens, we have their CMO, Mark Adia, with us. Mark has over 25 years of experience in the commercialization and business development of high-tech technologies. He has successfully launched several innovative products in the field of consumer electronics using technologies from research laboratories. Mark was the founder of Movea, where he held the position of VP Sales until the acquisition of Movea by InventSense. Mark founded Elikens with Wahid Issa in 2014. So let's hear it from Kevin, Tetsuko, and Mark about their companies and the project. Handing over to you guys.
Hello.
Hi there, we can hear you very well.
Okay, perfect. Should I turn
my video on? You guys want to start
your?
Yeah, that would be so cool to see you.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Kevin.
And hi. Thank you for inviting me to this, and thank you for inviting Daikin for this event, Plug and Play. Thank you very much. And thank you everyone for listening in to us. I know we don't have a lot of time, so I guess I'll just get going on the quick introduction of Daikin. So Daikin, some of you may have heard of us. We are actually a HVAC, that's heating, ventilation, and air conditioning company. We also manufacture refrigerants as well via our chemical division. But essentially, we are a global #1 air conditioning company. As a company, we have nearly 100 years of expertise, meaning we were established essentially roughly 100 years ago. Our 100th anniversary is coming up pretty soon. Collectively, we have many employees around the globe. We operate in more than 150 plus countries. And so what that means is we have quite a wide range of experts in-house. And hopefully that means that we could try to partner with various different kinds of startups as well and make something good out of it. But at the same time, especially we specialize in air conditioning in 3 main markets. Those are being residential, the other one being industrial, and another one being commercial. And we actually have these types of units, of course, residential homes installed, as well as many big buildings all over the world, like the one you see in the picture here. As you can probably notice, it's a World Trade Center. Can you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. Now, with that said, it almost sounds like we manufacture a lot of equipment, but we're starting to see that the market is moving away from just simply manufacturing equipment and selling it to providing more solutions, more customer-focused products and services. And so that's where Daikin is also heading. And therefore, we are especially at least interested initially in these 4 technology areas: air tech, that basically concerns air quality and air comfort around the individuals, as well as health tech, property tech, as well as cold chain tech. While we also have interest in other technologies, these are the first 4 areas that we are interested in at the same time. And to facilitate this, we've created what we call Daikin Innovation Pipeline at the Daikin Open Innovation Lab Silicon Valley. Our Silicon Valley office, we like to call ourselves the gateway for open innovation for Daikin. It's a very simplified diagram of this process. We have established it, but we are also continuously improving it. But nonetheless, it essentially starts off with creating a project together, creating a hypothesis together, and with our sister entities and Daikin, as well as maybe with startups that we already have a relationship with. And if it's a new project, then we would also go through finding new partners. So through experimentation, hopefully we can try to scale up together and commercialize in the particular sector. And part of the collaboration that we did in the past was our collaboration between eLikens and Daikin, and so here we are. So I think I should probably pass it on to Mark for a quick introduction of your company, eLikens, right? Daikin very much enjoyed working with eLikens, and it's a great opportunity for us to explore the air quality side since eLikens has much expertise in the space. So I'll just pass it on to Mark from here.
Thank you, Kevin. Hi, do you listen to me? Do you hear me?
We hear you very well, Mark. Thank you. Please go ahead.
So my camera, I'm on?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation. My name is Mark. I am the CMO of the company. What we do at eLikens, we provide gas sensing technology for the IoT markets. At the beginning, at the kernel, we have sensors. We build sensor, and on top of sensor, we build additional technology, software, platform to enable our customer to provide the entire solution for the air quality / gas sensing monitoring. We are about more than 30 people spread all over the world, in France, California, but also in Asia. Today, we have a family of patents of more than, we can say 49 patents covering the entire scope of the technology that we are developing. And we work closely with partners for the manufacturing, but partners also for the development of technology. We have partnership with MIT here in Boston, with Berkeley also here in Berkeley, in California for the application, but also we work with European labs for the development of the sensing that we are providing to the market. Next slide. What we, at the beginning, is really sensors, small sensor like this one. I don't know if you see in my screen, my video. This sensor has the capability to be very, very small, ultra low power, and the longest lifetime in the market. We have different form factor. And what we do with this sensor, we built a reference design. And we have 3 kind of solution. One for the outdoor air quality station. The second one is the indoor air quality monitoring. And the last one is ELIC for the gas leak detection. As an example, what we did with ELOS for Daikin, we deployed the entire solution to cover San Francisco and to have the map of the city in real time for having, the air quality at a very citizen level. We know exactly where the pollution is in San Francisco, how it's improving, how we can make it better, how is the, for example, traffic congestion linked to the pollution. We have also businesses in smart home with Daikin, ventilation. And we have some deployment ongoing on the gas leak detection for gas utilities. We have been part of the IoT batch of Plug and Play 2 years ago. And with the help of Plug and Play, we have many contacts. And one of the very, I would say, advanced contacts we have today is Daikin. We started a project 2 years ago, and I leave Datsuko to explain what we did with them.
Thank you, Mark. Next slide, please. Thank you, Kevin and Mark, for introducing each company. So my name is Datsuko, and I'm in charge of startup engagement in Daikin Open Innovation Lab Silicon Valley. So let me introduce the collaboration history between eLikens and Daikin. So actually, we met with eLikens in 2015 at Plug and Play event. And actually, Daikin joined Plug and Play in the same year, I believe. And at that time, Daikin was just 2 members, and our focus was just technology research and scouting. And we met with eLikens, and we saw eLikens CO2 sensor is great for our kind of zero energy building solutions use case. And we started from CO2 sensor evaluation with R&D team in Japan at that time. But on the other hand, our goal is to leverage the data to create new business or solutions. And as we learned about IoT and AI at the Silicon Valley, we thought that we should have an IoT platform for proof of concept in order to try new ideas quickly and cost effectively to leverage the data. And so actually Daikin Silicon Valley office hired a software engineer at Silicon Valley in 2017. And by the way, we have now nine software engineers in our team as our collaboration with eLikens and others are increasing. So since we think air quality is very important data for Daikin to leverage for our solutions ideas, we wanted to have an air quality sensing platform there. Just not only focusing CO2 sensor, but also more data relating to air quality and environment to understand occupant or building. So we decided to collaborate with eLikens because they also have a kind of same vision. They start from CO2 sensor, CH4 sensor, but they also have a vision to expand their business domain or solution domain more widely. So we started from defining what is our goal, milestone, what kind of data we need, and we repeated improvement of hardware and software side as well. And as a result, Mark explained, eLikens developed indoor air quality station named LC now, and Daikin also developed an IoT platform which connects to eLikens station. And the combination with this means we have now an air quality sensing platform to try out new ideas quickly. And actually, multiple Daikin teams globally are now using eLikens air quality station, LC, and Daikin Silicon Valley teams platform for their pilot project. And as Mark mentioned, we are also now working on smart city side as well, in addition to air quality monitoring. Yeah, that's all. Thank you very much.
Hey, Kevin, Mark, and Datsuko, thank you so much for the introduction. I think you guys represent a great example of how a startup and a corporate can meet on our platform and how you can actually build something great together. And that would also be my first question. I think what started as Daikin's interest in a good product of eLikens transformed into a collaborative effort to build an entirely new product. And as a basis for Daikin's new business model. So can you tell us a little bit about the transformation of this?
Sure. Yeah, actually, Daikin was a very small team when we met with eLikens at that time, and we just focusing on CO2 sensor evaluation at that time. But as I explained and Kevin explained, Daikin's vision is more kind of to leverage data. And so we were wanting to understand the comfort, energy, and what kind of ventilation or HVAC is optimal for each building. In order to analyze such kind of behavior or characteristics, we thought we need to have much more data, not only focusing on CO2, but also temperature, humidity, could be a sound or lighting, etc. So more kind of anti-solution we can develop. So we decided to develop more kind of platform side, not just a sensor. But in order to develop the platform, we need a good air quality station and cloud side as well. So we partnered with Daikin.
That's a great story, and we all love the success story here at Plug and Play for sure. I have a question for Mark in Daikin. I feel like for you as a startup, creating an entirely new product specifically for Daikin, how did that impact your company vision and maybe even your product roadmap?
Good question. Thank you. In fact, the strategy that we have started at the beginning from at Daikin, we started to select few verticals. In each verticals, we select the leader, the best one. For example, for safety, we select the edge company. You know, it is the leader in the world in safety. For the ventilation, on our side, it was Daikin. You know, because of Daikin for us is the leader. They are really leading the new innovation, and especially here in the Silicon Valley with that's a good team. They are really, I would say, looking for new technology, new innovation, new way to improve, and especially the air quality, and especially the power consumption. And for us, it was really the best partner because of we are looking for use case. And with Tatsuku team, we have more than one use case. We have many use cases. And on our side, we were able to really focus on several business use case. We start with the Silicon Valley, and we move to the HQ in Japan. We have some discussion for businesses, new businesses, even in Europe, in the US with Daikin. For us, it's really strategic, the partnership that we have today. It's really, Tatsuku team is really pushing us, to be more and more, innovative, and being with Daikin for us, it's unique. And thank you again for Plug and Play to be able to give us the opportunity to work with Daikin.
Well, sure. You just mentioned it, Mark, and it might be a question for Kevin as well. You had to navigate with a lot of different teams and legal entities, even within Daikin, to convince the teams and move things forward. I think you have involved more than 3 locations. And so, Kevin, navigating the different teams and maybe using this success story as an example of how you work with startups. So anything that you learned from this specific project or this story that you'd like to share with our other corporate partners?
Sure, Jennifer. Excellent question. And I'll also open it up to Tatsuku in case he wants to jump in the middle. But essentially, what we learned out of this activity is that working with startups requires a lot of flexibility from a corporate partner perspective. Not to say that, Daikin was excellent to work with, but I think it's just startups are very quick cycles of trying new things. And what we needed to do at Daikin Silicon Valley is to ensure that our sister entities, our various Daikin legal entities, to understand that that is the case, that is the ecosystem that we live in. And especially what helped, at least with our collaboration with Daikin, was that we tried to bring senior decision makers in the picture as soon as possible. However, even with that, we did have a little bit of struggle in between because our pipeline and our process wasn't quite there yet. And what came out of this collaboration, and it became a very good learning experience for us, was that we came up with a more modified and more clear definition, clearly defined pipeline. So what, you know, we would, for future project, we might start maybe simple, not small, but simple. But, and then what we would, the pipeline is now set up so that we can try to expand as quickly as possible, or try to convince the other entities as soon as possible as well. So hopefully that gives a little bit more encouragement for the rest of the community to reach out to us, which by the way, just a little bit of PR, please, you know, visit us at dsv.daikin.com, where we have a new website. You can see our collaboration on there as well, and a way to contact us as well. So.
And we're happy to connect everyone to you, Kevin, as well, and to the Daikin team who's interested to learn from you. Now that we know a bit from your side or your perspective on working with startups, maybe a quick question to Mark again. So what is your best advice to the startups listening now to us in working with large corporates? And everything here sounds so smooth, but I'm sure you have worked with corporations that maybe hasn't been so smooth. So especially when co-developing a product, what would you say is your top advice?
I will say be patient. Be patient, provide the best that you are, don't deliver anything which is not proof 100% before. You know, be very professional. We are all professional, but we are to be more professional because of this company like Daikin. We don't have a second chance to be, you know, to be good. You know, they offer us to work with us. It's an opportunity that we have to take and to be really focusing on delivering good product, reliable product, and keeping the relationship with Daikin. You know, for us, being also in the Silicon Valley, having people here, like I'm based in Silicon Valley, being able to visit Tatuku every week or every 2 weeks, I think, you know, this relationship is really unique. I will say also being able to reach out a lot of people with the help of Plug and Play, participating to the summit, participating to all the networking session. It's really important for startups like us. And thank you again for Plug and Play. And we have been participating in the US, but also in Europe, in Asia with Plug and Play. We have to be, you know, present in all the networking session, which is really, really key.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you guys are working on a long-term project and long-term relationship, but I mean, this year has been quite a change for all of us, and COVID has hit. And I was just wondering, has the current situation changed your plan to work together at all, or especially addressing air quality together and talking about viruses in the air? Is there anything going on in that direction?
Yeah, in fact, for us, we before COVID-19, we started to deploy solution in the city. During COVID-19, we did some reports, especially showing San Francisco, but also Paris, Milano, and other cities, how is the impact of the confinement to the air quality. And now we have a lot of demand, especially schools, offices. They want to provide to their to their people, to the student, or to the best well-being environment for the people to be, you know, indoor. And we are working on how to optimize, how to secure, how to give the best well-being environment to the people to work. And we see a lot of demand on that. We see also demand on people how they can contribute also, you know, for example, in the city, taking not the car, but the bicycle, what is the impact, especially on the ozone, on the PM, you know. We have some demand on how can I contribute to make the world better. And we see a lot of demand, which, yeah, it's really unique.
Well, thanks. I have a last question, maybe for Tasuku or Mark or all of you. You mentioned that you're continuing your relationship into smart cities area, my favorite topic. And so what do you think, what does the future hold for Daikin and Daikin together?
Yeah, from Daikin's perspective, air quality is how to say, ever evolving or never ending story or area we explore to leverage the data. So as a Silicon Valley office, we would like to keep working with e-license, of course, but also we would like to more kind of develop application side as well, because as a Silicon Valley team, we have an IoT platform now, and of course, the value should translate it into the more kind of user experience or user interface side. So in such point, we need to more explore maybe working with e-license or yeah.
For me, Jennifer, I can add
please.
something. In fact, what we see today, we start with indoor application and we have the outdoor with smart city. Today, we see the link, the link, because knowing what's happening indoor, it's also because of the outdoor, and we are working closely on scenery, how to improve the indoor, knowing the outdoor. And at Daikin, we have the capability to provide the entire solution, indoor, outdoor, sensor, platform, and this is what we provide to Daikin today.
I love this. I'm looking forward to these solutions, being indoor working all the time and being an outdoor lover, combining the two. Yeah. Perfect. Looking forward to this. Well, guys, thank you so much for the presentation of this project. I'm sure our partners and startups and everybody dialing in today has learned a lot from this and from learning from other successful projects. This is always our goal. So thank you for joining. And we're now bringing back up the slides so that I can wrap up the morning session. This concludes actually the first part of day one, our Internet of Things session. And we will have, it was planned to have a 15 minutes break, but maybe you have to make your bio breaks a bit shorter. So in 5 to 10 minutes, I think we are restarting. So grab coffees or wine and a snack and be prepared for the next great session. We will reconvene soon. And with great keynotes, panels, and startup pitches from our real estate and construction team. But before you leave, don't forget to network, which is especially important during our virtual event. I've seen a lot of questions for some of the startups in the chat box and in the Q&A box. All of our startups and partners are in the Brella app available today and the entire week, so you can raise all your questions there. Thank you very, very much for participating in the IoT session, and see you soon. Bye.